So today I'm gonna speak about serverless architecture. When do you actually need it? If you need it, what is it gonna cost you? And other things. So I think when we speak about serverless architecture, the first thing that comes to mind is what the hell that even is, right? So serverless basically means that a company or whoever your service provider is, so for example Amazon, DigitalOcean, or any other hosting company, um, they will help you create the server on fly. That means you can write a little bit of code and select the language, upload the file, and the company will create the server and whatever else is necessary for you. So if you write some code in Python and you need to run it somewhere, you can upload your Python code to the hosting site, and then they will spin up a new server for you, and then you don't have to worry about creating Apache or whatever you're trying to create. Installing this module, that module, they look after all that. So that's the whole point of our serverless architecture. Now, second thing, do you need it? Most people don't need it actually. Most of the time, your company will be able to create website just fine. You wouldn't ever need serverless architecture. Um, does it help? Yes, it does, but it also costs more, and you're gonna be quite an expert to manage that sort of architecture where things are separated. Um, it takes time to set up, it takes time to maintain, and if something goes wrong, that also takes a lot of effort. You can't just not have a lot of experience and then try to fix these things. So I mean, if you don't have experience, don't create serverless architecture. um, Now, on a bit more practical side, for most people, you don't have to have everything serverless. So for example, you can have EC2 running that runs some script, serves the website, got Apache running in the background. Let's say you need a second server. Let's say you're trying to process something. Let's say you're trying to process big, heavy audio files. um, Maybe you're watermarking them, maybe deleting them, cutting them, removing some portion of the file. You can do that on your EC2 server. That will work. And if the server goes becomes slow, there is bottlenecks, um, you can increase the size of the server. Maybe that'll handle it. Or you can totally offload the whole process of manipulating the audio file to a separate server. Now you can go and create a separate server yourself. What you can also do is use serverless. So for example, on Amazon you can write Lambda function. Basically that's just your script that will process the audio file, and upload that script to Lambda function, um, send the audio file to the script, and Lambda will create a new server for you without having to manage anything. And once the file has been changed, manipulated, the process is done, it will kill that server. And you can send 100 requests to Amazon. You don't have to worry about the memory. You don't have to worry about site getting slow because it's on a separate server. That has nothing to do with your main server that's serving users. So that's a practical use, um, and that works quite well as well. If you understand Lambda, you understand languages that can run on Lambda. For example, TypeScript, um, Python you can use, and you can use many other languages. So that's a practical example. If you have to use it there to sort of offload some big processes from your main server to a separate server, you could just create a separate server, right? But then you would be paying constantly as long as the server is running. With Lambda, you would pay for the memory you're using, how long the process is running, and it ends up being way cheaper. So that's the practical side that most people can do. And I hope this video has been helpful for people who are trying to get into serverless architecture, trying to understand how things work, or just playing with things in their free time. Hope it helps.